What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to West Georgia Aquatics. I've brought you out to the 40-gallon breeder tank that I had outside over summertime, breeding out white cloud mountain minnows because we got to get these little guys in. They can overwinter in most places, but I can tell it's going to be a pretty cold winter. So we're going to go ahead and take them out and break down the tank because I have plans for it in the future. We're going to redesign the fish room just a little bit. We're going to take out the wire racking system and build a stand just so I can face the 30 gallons out in rows instead of stacking them on top of each other. It just makes water changes a lot more difficult. So we're going to get these little guys in a bag. We're going to put them in the fish bags that we usually bag our fish up in because this water is a lot colder than the fish room, so we're going to have to slowly temperature acclimate them, and I'm sure the water parameters are completely different than the tank they're going in. They're going to go into the cherry shrimp tank for the time being because I ended up selling all of the neon tetras, and these guys are going to take their place, and I'm going to let them grow out. I'm not going to put these on the website to sell just yet. We're going to probably let them grow out and maybe start another batch next summer, and then I'll put them on the website to sell, just to share with you guys, because I know a lot of stores done stopped carrying them. As you can see, some of the males have like really dark, deep red on their tails. And we started out with 4 adults, and now we have about 25 juveniles. We have 2 different sets of fry in here, so they're different sizes. So we're gonna have to probably take everything out just to find all of them. I'm gonna try not to disturb the surface too much because that duckweed, and I really wanna get all these guys out just so I can save most of them. If you give me a minute, I'll get done with that and we'll start moving them into the fish room, and I'll show you how I acclimate my fish to add to tanks. So give me a minute and I'll get back to you. Okay, so I just got done catching the white cloud mountain minnows. As you can see, there's a lot more in there than I expected. So we're gonna tie the bag up with a rubber band and we're gonna float it in the 30 gallon with the cherry shrimp, and we're gonna do a little follow-up video on these guys and watch them grow, and maybe next summer we can get another pond going and get even more. Let me tie the bag up and we'll follow this up in the fish room. Alright, so I just dropped them in the 30 gallon. They're swimming around pretty well. Ignore the root debris, that's just roots from the duckweed and all the water lettuce that I had to pull out of the tank to get these guys. The adults are pretty ready to get out. While they're bagged up, you can really tell the difference between the adults and the juveniles. The camera doesn't want to focus with all the debris in the bag, but we're going to leave them in here for about 15 minutes, and I'm going to get a container, a separate container, and drip acclimate them. They don't get pH shock, because I'm sure outside that water has a completely different pH than this water, because I use aqua soil for the plants to buffer the water for the shrimp, and all of that's going to change the water parameters compared to being rained on. Rainwater has a lower pH naturally, so we're going to slowly acclimate these guys into their tank, and we're going to revisit the tank. But while we do that, maybe we can take a look at some other tanks. In the footage yesterday, I mentioned the 75 gallon. I'm going to end up breaking down this entire system and turn it into salt water. At the auction the other day, I ended up getting some yellow labs, like I said previously. I just been using this as a plant grow out tank, trying to get a decent stock of plants up. While we've been getting the white clouds out of the tank, I've also been filling up the 80 gallon. We are going to do some plants in this tank. We're just going to do some Amazon swords towards the back of the tank. Maybe just a kind of a wall to break up the stone and driftwood a little bit, add a little bit of color. And I forgot to mention yesterday in the video that I did get some cichlids from the auction. I got a geophagus and 2 Texas cichlids. They don't like me yet. Every time I get close to the tank, they hide. We all know how that goes. Also at the auction, I got some Honduran red points. I think these are kind of blemished a little bit, but maybe we can breed them out and get a nice little strain going. I think that's the big boss male. He's the one most colored up. He's got a slight hump on his head too. It's kind of hard to tell in the dark. They seemed really stressed yesterday, so I cut the light off, but they got really good color on their tails. Most Honduran red points that I see are almost the same color as convict cichlids. I guess these were kind of bred with the pink convict cichlids, and that's the color morph they came out with. So we're probably going to try to strengthen that strain a little bit. Maybe that'll look pretty cool. We haven't had too much go on in the fish room lately. Like I said in a newer video, I started my own company, westgeorgiaaquatics.com. This is the racking system we're going to take out eventually. As you can see, it just looks real cluttered. I'm going to turn the 30 gallons facing outwards and just put them in a row, just along this way. That way we can fit more tanks per square foot, and that'll open us up to way more stocking. Okay, so it's been a few minutes now. We went ahead and opened up the bag. What we're gonna do is take a cup and we're gonna slowly fill the bag up. You don't want to do it too fast, because what you're trying to do is get the pH in the bag remotely close to the same pH as the water you're about to put the fish in. And I do see a little bit of heat ripples in the water, so this will also help temperature acclimate them a little bit. And these are pretty hardy fish, you guys, so you may not even have to do this. I'm just doing it as a precaution because they are still babies. And like I said earlier, white clouds for me are hard to find in this area, so I'm trying to hang on to as many as I can. And you just keep slowly pouring that water in there. And this is the same kind of method you use if you get some fish imported or overnighted to you from a supplier or a private seller. You really want to slowly acclimate your fish when they sit in bags for a long period of time, or in a different water source like these have. Just take every precaution to make sure your fish are healthy and acclimated to the tank they're going in. And also it's good to keep a bucket nearby, so when it gets full like this, you can dump a little bit of water out. And you just continue the process. Okay, so now that we have the fish acclimated, we're going to go ahead and put the fish in the tank. So what you want to do is take your bag of fish, grip it on the bottom like so, turn it upside down, and what you want to do is slowly release the end of the bag so they go into the net like that. Make sure you get all of them out. And then we're going to release them into the tank. What you do is kind of just want them to come out on their own. Also, that'll keep us from getting all that debris into the tank. And the ones that remain behind, go ahead and take this time to inspect them and see if they got any parasites or any kind of fungus or diseases they might take into the tank with them. That way you can go ahead and pull them out before they leave the net. Double check the net, make sure there's nothing in there. That's about all there is to it, guys. When you're taking pond fish and transferring them over into the tank, just make sure you take it slow. Don't try to rush the process because you could shock the fish and lose the whole batch. So I hope you guys took something from this. And if you guys want to keep following along with the process of me opening my fish store, be sure to hit the subscribe button and go ahead and shoot me a like. That way you can stay caught up with everything that's going on. This room's not gonna stay this way, you guys. It's going through a big change. I'm filling up the 80 gallon for a new show tank because, like I said earlier, I'm tearing down the 75 gallon and the 50 gallon and turning it into a saltwater tanks. This 30 gallon, as you see it, is also going to be a saltwater tank. I'm probably going to put some clownfish and an anemone in this one. I feel like the dimensions will be perfect for that. Kind of like a sloping reef tank. The 50 gallon is going to be used to grow out coral and probably just overstock tank. Sorry I didn't have more to show you guys. It's just been kind of laid back here lately. I've been trying to promote the store. I've been going to auctions, just trying to get to know people in my area so they can get to know me. We still have a few lemon tetras. I'm thinking about putting the lemon tetras in the 80 gallon. Either that or some red-eyed tetras. I haven't decided on that yet. It all depends on what I put in the 80 gallon. I do believe I'm gonna put that geophagus, and whether or not I put the Texas cichlids or the Honduran reds in there is all depending on the temperament of the fish. I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. I know I enjoyed making it for you. Just be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to keep caught up on the progress of the store and anything else pertaining to it. I do plan on opening the store next July if everything goes to plan. It all takes time and money, you guys, and I hope I can take you along for the ride. So I'll see you in the next video, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And like always, thank you for watching.